All right, welcome to Basics Part 1. Okay, today I'm going to take a different direction on my channel, and I'm going to really slow things down so that up and coming musicians and beginners can really get a grasp on the foundation of music and different principles. So this is Basics 1. Today we're going to be just talking about scale and how do you find scale and what even is scale? What scales do you need? Are there more than one? All right. So we're going to be looking at, the piano to demonstrate this concept, but you can also, you'll also be able to learn a lot if you're a guitar player, bass player, and just any instrument. If you're already pretty good in your ear, you'll be able to learn a lot. So just in general, and definitely organ players as well. Okay, so let's check this thing out. So we're going to be in the key of C. Now what C is, if you look on your keyboard, if you see these two black notes, you'll see 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look at the section of twos right below that, that's your C. Okay. All right. Now the scale for C that many of us are very familiar with already is all the white keys. Okay. All right, and that gives us that sound that we're so familiar with. All right. Now let me demonstrate to you guys what that really is. Okay. So how did we come up with that? All right. If you don't know, letter wise, because most of the time I refer to things as numbers because it'll be easier for us, but letter wise, we go backwards from C, B, A. This is where things truly start. And if you have a full 88 keyboard, then your first key all the way down, that's going to be your A. All right. And from there, you'll see that things repeat. It'll be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then it starts over. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and that'll continue throughout the whole piano. All right. And you'll find that these black keys are just your accidentals, whether they're sharps or flats, depending on which key you're in. Okay. So if this is C, this is C sharp. If this is D, this is D sharp. All right. And also, if this is D, this can also be looked at right here as D flat. Now, that's about as much letter notation as we're going to really get into today because we want to make this thing really simple. Okay. So let's look at the piano for what it is. The piano is 12 notes. All right. If we start here, like I said, I'll be starting in C. It's 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I were to press all these in together, right? All right. That's your whole piano right there. That's your whole piano. It starts over and over and over and over again, but it's only 12 notes. All right. So how do we get a scale from these 12 notes? I'm glad you asked. All right. So here we go. Let's assume that you don't skip anything. And what I mean is you would start at C and just go up. Now that's called chromatics, but you don't need to worry about that. I'll let you know everything that you need to worry about. Okay, so that's not an important terminology for right now. But this is chromatic. So if you're playing along, which you should, I want you to try doing that. Okay. All right. There's nothing special about the black keys versus the white keys. There's no difference. They're just different notes. Just different notes. All right. Now, if you were playing and you were to skip everything, it would sound like this. All right. So notice, instead of saying I skipped this and went from here to here, from here to here, from here, skipping this one to here, from here, skipping this to here, skipping here to here. So you will have this sound. Right, we've heard that before. Right, we've heard that all before. Okay, now you might be asking, okay, what's the point of doing that? All right, the point is to get your mind to associate the difference between skipping and not skipping. Okay, because that's half the battle. Understand what it means to skip a note and what it means not to skip a note. Now let me give you some terms. This is important to what you may hear other musicians refer to this as. Skipping a note, to go from here to here, is a whole step. It's a whole step. To go from here to here is a half step. Half step. All right. The chromatic scale, that scale where we didn't skip anything, that's all half steps. This whole step scale, all right, that's all whole steps. All whole steps. Now, how do we come up with this beautiful do re mi scale? Okay, that is comprised by making half steps when going to the 4, and when going back to your 1 or your 8. So what do I mean by that? Because I just introduced some new terminology there for some people. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll count as you're playing. So you'll say 1. I'll start on my 1. Wherever I start is 1. Okay, and then you'll say 2. So since it's not 4, or since it's not 1 or 8 or whatnot, since it's not 4 or 8, all right, that means I'm just gonna make a whole step. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4. That means I need to take a half step. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, since it's 8, I need to take a half step. Now 8 and 1 is the exact same thing if you look. So if you hear me say 8, I'm just talking about a higher version of the 1. But most of the time I may just refer to it as 1 to keep from confusion. So when going to the 1, and if I were you, I'd write this down, because this is the only thing you'll ever need to remember. All right, going to the 1, going to the 4, I don't skip anymore. All right, going to the 1, going to the 4, I don't skip anymore. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. All right, that's it. That's it. And you'll have your scale. All right, as long as you can remember these 2 spots right here, you're good. Now the convenient part is that if you look at your white keys, you'll see there is no black note in between here and here, which means it's automatically done. The same here and here, there's no black note there, which means it's automatically done. Okay, so now let's look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, or 1. Okay, so that would be considered your C scale. That's a major scale. Okay, that is your major scale. Okay, there are a couple of different scales. This is probably the most important one that you'll ever need. From it, you can derive your minor scale. So for those of you that may have heard about the minor scale, it is within that scale. Now there are some alterations for some of you people that may have heard different things like the harmonic minor, melodic minor, okay, different things like that, different dominant scales, altered dominant scales. Okay, yeah, you may have heard about those things, but as far as your basic major and your basic minor scale, it can all be found within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what happens if I start from my 6. Okay, So let's see if I can find 6. 1. I'm gonna go the other way. 7, 6. Okay. If I kept going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So 1, 7, 6. Okay. Let's see if I find my other 6. Let's play that same major scale, but let's start from the 6. So let's play the C major scale starting from the 6. 1, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You hear that? Okay. All right. See, that would be considered your A minor scale. Okay. That would be considered your A minor scale. All right. So that lets you know that you can find your basic minor scale within the major scales. If you just learn your major scales, you can find it. Now, I'm going to answer a question that maybe some of you may have had. Why isn't this A? Why would they call this C instead of A, since it seems to be the most basic of keys? Well, when the piano was created, or with a harpsichord or whatnot, most musicians started. All the songs were in A minor. Now, tuned a little differently back then, but all the songs were in A minor, and they were played. They were kind of played within that scale, okay, and of course it branched out from there. Now, what I want other musicians to realize is that if you take a look at the screen, okay, even at the guitar, all right, you'll see that this is the same for all instruments. If I were to do my half step scale, that chromatic scale where I don't skip any notes, you'll see that I don't skip any frets on the guitar. All right, and it's showing you the 3 different places on the guitar that give you that same tone. All right, so you get that. You see the pattern there. Now, if I do a whole tone scale where I do skip every other note, you'll see I'll skip a fret, and I just went from one dot to the next dot to the next dot to the next dot, right, until it starts over. All right. And now we're on a space, so I go from space to space to space, well, to dot, right? Understanding that if you're just starting at the 2 dots, okay, this one right here, okay, this 2 dot part is representative of the part where it's the open string, okay? So that's the same thing as playing your open string notes. That's why there are 2 dots there, it's showing you open string notes, okay? And as you can see, then you have these 2 spaces right here, all right, which are just like the same 2 spaces that you will have up top, okay? All right, cool. All right, but yeah, the point is that this scale works for every instrument, and if you can visualize that on the guitar, if you can visualize that on the bass, visualize that on your piano, if you're looking to play organ, it'll really take your playing to the next level, okay? So, in basics 2, I'll be covering the chords that go along with this scale, okay? And how to come up with a formula that'll get you started playing some of your most popular songs, okay? And on basics 3, I'll give you some different chords that we can put on top of the chords that we already learned. All right.